Joining me now is Ross McElroy. He's the president and CEO at Fission Uranium. Good to see you again, sir.
Great to see you, Mark.
Nice to catch up. Now, we've talked about the Triple R deposit before in the Athabasca Basin, discovered in 2012. You call it globally elite. David Talbert, head of research at Red Cloud, he agrees, world class. Recently, you said we're on schedule. So bring us up to speed on the story.
Sure, we're on schedule for being a producing mine. So yeah, I guess you'd classify us as a developer right now, an advanced developer. So we've already gone through all the economic studies. We completed the feasibility study earlier this year. We are in the detailed engineering, and basically that's the phase we're at. And on the regulatory side, it's all about getting approvals for the project to be able to build, construct, and start mining uranium. So we're well into the depth on the permitting side. And I guess what we're looking at is being in a position to begin construction 2026 and be an operator in 2029. So that's the path we're on.
Right, and as part of that path, you've been staffing up. You have a new VP of exploration. You brought in some other new people. You've opened a Saskatoon office. So speak to that in terms of where you are in your development path and in terms of the talent you're bringing in.
Sure. Well, our development team, we have 8 full-time members now in there, and that basically has every key position covered. So we've got process engineers, mine engineers, project development, permitting expertise, community coordinators, liaison. As we, a lot of the work we do is basically having agreements with the local Indigenous groups. So, anyways, all of these people are the top of the field. They all have a great depth of experience. They're primarily ex-Cameco, ex-Orano senior people, and they're the people that are going to drive our project forward. So
that's great. Now, you recently raised just more than $9 million. Red Cloud was a part of that. So what's the plan with that money, and how much is going to go into exploration? Because I know you're going to be doing some exploration for the first time in quite a few years. People are excited about that. And there is a lot of resource potential, correct?
There is a lot of resource potential. So for 2024, the exploration plan, part of the program is going to be geared towards expanding the mineable resource. So drilling the areas of the deposit that we know already have an inferred resource. We want to up-classify it to indicated in order to bring it into the mine plan. So there's that component of the program. But early on in 2024, we're actually going to begin our regional exploration drilling. So in other words, testing along this conductive corridor that we're in that hosts the Triple R deposit, hosts the very large Arrow deposit next door that NextGen have. It's an extremely prolific corridor. We've got a number of high priority target areas along that conductive trend and parallel conductors. So, this will be starting in January of this year. And really, it's the first true exploration drilling we've done since 2017. So we're extremely excited to get at that again as well.
And lastly, Ross, with the sector itself, we know there are a lot of tailwinds for uranium. Stocks are doing a lot better. I'm looking at your stock just the last 6 months, up 41% as we sit here. You believe we're early days, and I'm wondering about your view of the sector, but also how people are reacting to you and your story when you're out at these conferences. And has there been a shift, do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think the first thing I would say is, to support your comments there, I think we are absolutely at the early stages of a long uranium sector. There's the whole transformational sentiment of what's happening with clean energy and the realization that nuclear is a key part of that equation. So that's not in a short little cycle. This is decades and decades and decades, where I think the nuclear is going to have an extremely important part. North American assets, high-grade deposits such as ours are going to be the elite projects, the ones that Western utilities in particular will be interested in sizing up. So I think we couldn't be in a better place at this point in the sector. So.
All right, it's always great to catch up.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll talk again. Okay, Ross McElroy, President, CEO at Fission Uranium.